just kind of down with it. So,
Who do I look at you?
Yeah.
I look at you.
you can look at me.
Okay, I'm gonna look at you.
So, you were born in 1932, right?
Right.
And you grew up on a farm.
I was born on the farm, yes, out in the farmhouse.
So, what was that like growing up on a farm as a little girl?
Fun.
Like, what was
And we got to town maybe on Wednesday night and Saturday night, and then we'd walk around the street and we'd buy a bag of popcorn. We didn't get to town very much.
So what did you do for fun then? Like, just go to town or?
Well, when we came to town, we walked around the block, but we played croquet and we played all sorts of games, and you had company would come and visit in those days. They would come at night, and you'd play cards or you'd play games, and then you'd have a lunch and they'd go home. People don't do that nowadays. They don't have time. They don't visit like they used to.
What did you have, like, responsibilities on the farm?
Yes.
What were they?
I had to gather eggs.
Every day?
Every day. And you had to, sometimes when the hen would still be on the nest, and you'd have to reach under, and then they would give you a little pick, you know. They didn't want you getting their eggs. Yes, and then I had to wash the eggs, because we sold the eggs.
So it was you and Evelyn?
And Evelyn, and Carla. Carla was with us.
What was, like, you compared to Evelyn? Is
Evelyn's about 4 years older, and then Carla's about 3 years younger.
Is Evelyn
older?
She was brain damaged or something?
Evelyn was, in those days you had the babies at home, and she was a large child or large baby, and it was a long birth. Nowadays it would have been a C-section.
Yeah.
Because Mom couldn't have her, and she was she was deprived of oxygen.
So her role was different? Or?
No, she did. She went right along with us. No, she did everything we did. Yeah.
And what was it like looking up to your mom? Because was she in a prominent role?
Yes, and my mom, at that time, she had to go out and milk cows.
Yeah. And
drive the hay fork to get the hay up into the barn. And yes, she was a role model that never tired and never got angry with us.
Oh. So, like, when you hear people talk, like, this is the 30s, right? 30s, 40s?
30s and 40s, yeah, 32. I was born in probably the 40s.
When you hear, like, people say that a woman's role isn't really active on the farm, would you, like, completely disagree with that?
I would completely disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because the women were very active. Yes, they were out doing the chores with the men, and most of them were anyway. Most of them were. And at that time, they would have to heat their water to do the washing, their laundry, and everything. They didn't have, hot water coming out of a faucet. Yes, they had to work very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, your dad, what was his role different from your mother's? Like,
well, he of course he was milking the cows with her, and my dad was sick a lot when I was growing up, and Mother did a lot of the work outside because he was sick a lot and was in bed a lot. So
she was like...
She did a lot, and then really we'd have to have a hired man come in and help then to get some of the work done. We'd have to hire somebody to come in, and he was a very hard-working man too. He would, we used to thrash oats, and when you thrash it, the straw comes out, and he would, on those hot days, he would you take a pitchfork and you make a big mound of straw. You have a big straw pile, and you have to pile it. And he worked. Yeah, it was hard work. Hard work. Yeah.
So how long were you on this farm?
I was on this farm probably till I was born there, and then I got married, and I moved on another place for 3 years, and then I went back to that farm, and I was on that farm till 1993. So I was on that farm most of my life.
So it's your whole life?
Yeah.
Did you ever, like, my mom said you were a secretary somewhere. Or...
I was a cashier at the Iowa Public Service. It was an electrical company. I was a cashier. That was fun.
Your only job you ever had?
Mm-hmm. Well, no. Then I also worked at a milling place where the people would come in and build houses, and they would order the lumber and all that stuff. I did that besides the cashier. Mm-hmm. That was my only job besides farming. Did
you have like a dream that you wanted to do? Like,
I wanted to be a nurse.
That's what my mom said. She really wanted to be a nurse.
And none of my granddaughters want to be nurses either.
Why didn't you become a nurse?
I don't know. I really don't know why I didn't go and do that. But maybe I wanted to do that later. I mean, later years, you know.
And then you got married?
I did go be a nurse's aide course. I did take that, you know. So, possibly right out of high school, probably wasn't thinking about being a nurse. Probably thinking about getting a job, and I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe that's the way it works.
Just make sure it's.
But then, let's see. And I helped my dad when I was, you know, young. We'd not combine oats. We had a binder that you'd go out and cut the oats and make bale or little shocks, and we'd shock the oats, and I would run that. And I wasn't very old when I did that, so I helped my dad because we didn't have any boys in the farm, so I had to help. I was the boy. I was supposed to be a boy. I think I was supposed to be a boy.
Like, what did your dad taught you that women should be like? Was he more that they should be active, or was he like?
He didn't demand that you were out there, but he wanted a little help, and you just knew that's what you, in those days you just knew everybody pitched in and helped. You did. You didn't just sit. You didn't have TV to sit and watch. You see.
Yeah.
Or any of that stuff. So that was
So he was the only man. It was a really active female.
He had one man and with all of us, and then every weekend, or like every Friday, we would get to go to Mason City and get something. He'd usually buy us a new dress or something. He was very good to us for the work that we did.
Didn't Carla have a grandpa or something that was very rich or something?
No, Carla had polio when she was at our place.
Oh, she
in 1952. Yeah, she had polio.
Is she affected by that now?
Yes. She is. She has a lot of stress with it, and with her walking. She's using a cane now.
Oh, my mom was telling me something about Carla was she went out on summers.
She was always gone in the summer and then her dad would buy her lots of stuff.
Yeah, that's what.
They were divorced, her mother and dad, and he would try and win her over. Yes, he did buy her a lot of things, and she'd come home and have all this nice stuff. And
was
she was always gone in the summers from us. Yes.
Were you jealous?
Yes. Yes, I was.
Didn't she become a nurse?
Yes.
Were you really jealous of that?
No, I wasn't jealous of that. No. But
then she got paid for, right?
She got what?
Didn't she get college paid for or something?
She went through the Cancer Society, paid her way. And then she had, I think it was a Cancer Society, that didn't sound right, but I think that's what it was. And then she had to work so many years for that association or something before to pay it back, yes. Her college was paid for that way.
So did you worked before you met Papa, right? Or was this after?
Before. Then I worked on the farm after.
Yeah, so did he have a farm? How did that work out?
We rented a farm.
Why?
We rented a farm. Well, that's the only way you could do it in those days. You'd rent a farm from somebody else. You didn't own a farm. Most young people our age did not own a farm. You couldn't afford to buy a farm. So you rented it from someone that had a farm. You paid so much an acre and rented it. And then we milked cows. And I had no running water. I had no drain underneath my sink. I had a pail under there. And I had 2 babies. I had Michael and Teresa when we lived at that place.
At home?
No, I had them in the hospital, but I mean, I had them. I'm thinking of the washing.
Oh.
The washing and the diapers.
Oh.
We had cloth diapers in those days.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have.
What'd you do?
Well, you put them in a pail of water, and then we'd go out to. I'd go out to up to the farm on a Wednesday and wash, and Sunday I'd go out there and wash.
So like, how was it having kids but also having to care for the farm? Like, did you have to balance that out, or?
Mother helped a lot with that when I was out in the farm working, and Grandma Jenny would come out and
Help with the kids.
and help. Yeah, she did. That's the only way you could do it, because you can't take them. But I can remember when Mother was milking the cows, she had a big cardboard box that they'd put us in when they'd go milk. I can remember her saying that, and I can remember seeing the place where the car. Well, they were out there quite a while. You'd have to take them out.
How long would you work in the fields, or?
When? You mean with after?
Or like when you're
First
we're married, yeah.
Married, okay. I hauled all the grain. Papa would run the combine or the corn picker, and I hauled all the grain, like sometimes it was 10, 12 miles. And I'd always have a flat tire on my wagon. Always had a flat tire in my wagon. In those days you didn't have cell phones. We had CB radios that I could get in touch with him, sort of, to tell him that I'm in trouble.
Would he come help you out then?
Yeah, somebody would. And I would haul the grain, and then I'd go unload that load of grain, and then I'd go back and get another load, and that's the way it was. I never did run the combine. He never did let me run the combine, which is the easiest job.
So yeah, you were really active, it sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we'd be thinking about selling, we had hogs, and that was always a real experience to go out and sort the hogs and try to get them up into the trucks, because hogs do not do what you want them to do. They have their own minds, and they're very smart, a hog is. And they won't. They wouldn't go up in the, that was always stressful to do the hog.
Did you do this while you were
and
pregnant?
Well, let's see. I had the two over. We didn't have hogs when we rented that farm. We milked there, but we didn't have the hogs till later when we moved out to the farm. Where the other farm where Mike is now. And so no, I was not pregnant when I did that. No. But it was just, and I was really glad when Michael got old enough that he could go out and do it instead of me.
So why was it? Okay. Why was it the goal to have? Like, was it the goal to have a farm? Like when you and Papa married, were you like, that's what we want to do?
Yeah, you want to have a farm, and we bought some acres, but it seems like you're just always worried that it seems like it's high, the land, when you're going to buy it, and it always goes higher anyway. I mean, it's higher now, and you don't always have that money to do it, and you sort of need money, and Papa wasn't a plunger to do that, so we never plunged in and did that very much, but we did buy some, yes. But that is your goal, yes, to have land. And
was that just the norm? Is it a Midwest thing?
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody has farms.
But it's just, it's a good life, I think.
Being on
a wonderful life. I think the farm kids, they're out there, and they can't be, and they can't, they don't have driver's license or anything, so they don't get to town. They're stuck out in the farm. So yeah, like, was my mom involved on the farm? Well, she walked beans. Yes, she did. We walked beans, getting the weeds out of the beans. Yes, she did. She walked beans, and I don't know what else. I don't think she did much else. She'll probably say she did, but I can't remember what it would have been. She did walk the beans, and that's a job when it's hot.
Yeah.
Walking on the beans and getting all itchy. When your mom detasseled corn and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough job.
Were you guys like a very close family then? Like were you guys really? Because you're on the farm, you're working together all the time. Was it?
I would say very close. You're very close knit, and you're closer to your neighbors in those days too, because you relied on your neighbors to come, and if you had any problems, your neighbors were right there to help you too. Because you had these party line telephones. If you'd ever call anybody that you were in trouble with, everybody would come, and if you were, he'd